Hi everybody, I'm trying this again. I know that I did a live stream yesterday and our normal live stream schedule will be on Wednesdays, but I wanted to re-record the video because it had so many internet issues on campus. And so I am re-recording it, but I figured I might as well just do it live. And that way, if any of you wanted to join me, you had that opportunity. I see there's a couple of you in there. Hello. Hopefully everything is coming through okay and you can hear and see me just fine. If anyone has the ability to let me know in the chat that it's coming through, I would appreciate it. You could just tell me like yes, or looks good, or sounds good, or whatever. But what I want to do is just kind of go over what I did yesterday. I'm going to just do it as if I never did it. And so if you were with me yesterday, there's no need to stay. But if you're watching this later, as I would imagine most of you are, hopefully it is helpful. So again, those of you who are in here with me, can you hear and see me okay? If you could put it in the chat, that would be amazing. Just let me know if the volume, the sound, you can hear me, you can see me. I'll wait just a second and then I'll get going. I'm going to hope that everything is fine. And again, I'm just kind of, okay, good. So much better than yesterday. For some reason, it's really sad that it's challenging to do these live streams at school, right? The Wi-Fi in the HSS or HM building is really poor. So what I want to do is just kind of go through everything. And again, if you watched or joined me yesterday, then it's all the same stuff. I'm just going to go through it as if that never happened in hopes that it's a little bit less choppy. So my name is Elisa Setmire, and I'm the instructor for our Intro to Behavioral Research Methods class. You can call me Elisa, you can call me Setmire, you can call me Professor Setmire. And this is Twitch. If you've never been on here before, the best way to communicate with me during these live streams is to put thoughts or comments in the chat, which I'm monitoring on my phone and then also on my computer. So what I want to do is just kind of go through our Canvas site and show you where everything is, kind of talk a little bit about the class. Every Twitch live stream that I do, which will always be on Wednesdays, again, I'm just trying to do a second run of this to help. I'll always give you an extra credit question and then leave some opportunity for questions at the end. So this is our Canvas homepage. And if you made it here, you're in great shape, right? Everything for this class is either on here or linked from here. So you'll notice there's a link to announcements. There's a little start here, my contact information, help and campus resources, course documents and videos, and then all of the respective weeks going all the way till the end of the semester. And I've been teaching online now for about 15 years. I'm a very organized person, so I think everything what you will see in here is very organized and consistent, which is huge for online classes. So when you're ready to begin, you can click start here. I'm going to go to modules just so I can start with the syllabus, but you can kind of start in either spot. Both will kind of take you back to the same place. So if you click on the syllabus here, it's going to give you an overview of the class and your grade and the information, everything that you need to know. And I'm not going to go through all of it, but I do want to highlight a few things. It tells you the name of the class, my name, which I shared as Elisa Setmire. I do have an office on campus. I have a phone number and an email. Email is always going to be the quickest and best way to get a hold of me. I check my email all the time. I'm pretty good about getting back relatively quickly. I'm a little slower with my phone, a lot slower to be fair. So email me if you have any questions. You can look over the next few things on your own. There's some admin information if you need the dean or department chair, a description and objectives and outcomes. I'm going to pick up right here where it says textbook and required materials. You do need a textbook for this class, and I know that books are expensive. This one thankfully is a few years old, so it's not too bad. I believe that on the welcome letter I wrote 3rd edition. The 3rd edition will work and it's totally fine, and it's probably even cheaper. This is the one that I'm using, which is the 4th edition. It looks just like this. Either one will work for you. If you want to save a few dollars, you could get the older one. There weren't a lot of changes between editions. The biggest thing is if you do get the older book, obviously the pages aren't going to always match up. So just be mindful of that. You'll also want to download probably the Canvas app and maybe even the Twitch app on your phone or tablet or laptop. And you'll need access to a computer, with internet for our exams and for all the course materials. I have some codes of conduct and class policies that are on here. I know that we never meet in person. We will have these Twitch live streams hopefully every week or so, and we will have discussion forums. So I want this to be a really like safe environment for everyone to participate in. So it's my hope that we're really respectful and mindful of each other. Just be mindful and respectful in the things that you say, not only in the discussion forums, but also here on Twitch. This is probably the biggest one that I want to spend a few moments on, and that's late work and makeups and things to that extent. Our class is set up where you have access to a week of materials at a time. And so what that means is you have a good amount of flexibility in terms of you can complete the week's materials at any point during the week, but things will open up Monday morning at 12:01 a.m. and then they'll close at 11:59 p.m. on Sunday night. And so you need to be really mindful of that Sunday night deadline. Part of college and part of teaching for me is kind of helping you to develop those skills in time management, meeting class deadlines. I would say that's my one kind of hard rule that I have. I don't accept things beyond the deadlines. The only way that I will give you more time is if you reach out to me before the deadline hits. So if you have an emergency that comes up Friday or Saturday or even Sunday and you email me, I'm more than happy to give you an extension. If you email me Monday morning at like 12:05 a.m., I will tell you I'm so sorry, but it's too late. So that's my one really kind of hard rule. If something comes up, if you have an emergency, please, please, please reach out to me before the deadline, and I'm more than happy to work with you. After the deadline, it's sadly going to be too late. So just please try and keep that in mind. No copying and cheating. Give me all your own beautiful creative work. We have a lot of like issues now with like the chat GTP like kind of stuff, right? So please make sure that you're using all your own creative work from your mind for the assignments you're turning it. Excuse me. There's some Title IX and non-smoking stuff that we are required to put in there. I'll let you look over. Your grade is made up of several things, right? The first one is there is a little mandatory orientation quiz that's due by this Sunday night at 11:59 p.m. And that is my way of making sure that you've gotten the book, that you've read the syllabus, you've started on the class, that you're an actual person. We've also been having a lot of issues with having bots and kind of fake students. So we're encouraged to have like an assignment to have you complete before the end of the first week. This is mine. It's really like kind of common stuff about the syllabus and about that mandatory orientation lecture. And I'll show you where you can find this later, but make sure you do this by Sunday night. You'll have quite a few discussions. You'll be doing a discussion every single week. And think about them as almost like little mini papers in the sense that I really want you to elaborate and show off your knowledge and understanding of the materials. You'll have a couple of self-assessments in here where you are kind of reflecting on your effort and progress and grades in the class so far. It's a research methods class, and I'm going to have you kind of reflect and do a little bit of kind of self-reflection and research on yourself in that way. You'll have 4 homework assignments that you'll complete. These are meant to reinforce the things that we're covering, give you an opportunity to apply what you've learned. We'll talk about each one of these as they come up. Definitely save your work just in case. You'll do an experiment proposal project at the end of the semester. You're not actually conducting this research, but you're writing about what you would do if you were to conduct it. And we'll talk about that quite a bit when we get closer. And finally, you'll have 4 exams. Each one is worth 50 points. You'll be taking them right here on Canvas. You'll always have a study guide. And so we'll talk about those when we get a little bit closer as well. But all of those elements together create these point distributions that you see right here. So you can see if you want an A or a B or a C or whatnot, how many points you need to earn. If you have a memo with access, please try and get that to me as soon as you can. I want to make sure I get you set up with your exam timing or whatever accommodations you might need. If you need captioning for these live streams, it also is something that we could try and work on getting set up. There's some student tech support and college information. And then after that, it's just the schedule of the class, right? So you can see that we are right now in week number 1. And what I've done is put everything you need to do under week number 1. And that's the case when you click on those links on the home page as well. So for week number 1 that ends this Sunday night at 11:59 p.m., these are the things that you'll need to do. You'll need to read through the syllabus and mandatory orientation lecture, read through the chapter, first chapter in the textbook. There's a mandatory orientation quiz, an introduction discussion, and discussion 1. So you can always just kind of remind yourself of what needs to be done that week by what's here on the syllabus. You'll see them all the way through to the end, and then a little statement just reminding you again that our weeks start Monday morning and end Sunday night at 11:59 p.m. So that's the syllabus, and I didn't go through everything on there, so make sure you kind of read through it a little more on your own. Here's some textbook information and the little welcome letter that I sent out last week, kind of giving you some tips of things to start with. I also have some other information on here, like a discussion rubric. I made a video kind of overviewing the class if you need a little bit more. I have some frequently asked questions. There's some information here on how to set your Canvas notifications. If you aren't getting my messages and announcements that I send out, definitely set your notifications. You can have them texted to you or even emailed to you, but that's a great way to make sure that you're getting the messages that I send out. There's a little student discussion forum that might be helpful for you that you can also explore. Finding me on Twitch and YouTube, definitely something that's important to do. I use a lot of those two things for this class. I see somebody just figured it out and subscribed on Prime, which is free for you to do, so very nicely done. And you can find those instructions on here. How to fund your grades. There's a bunch of different kind of resources that I've put together. And once you've explored all of that, you can start right here with the mandatory orientation lecture, the little quiz, and the introductions discussion, kind of little precursors to week number 1. So let's take a look at the lecture together. And what you'll notice is everything, I'm big on consistency, as I said. So you'll notice there's a kind of this multiple tab format up at the top. There's a thing here where you can listen to me reading it to you if you would rather do that than read it yourself, if you miss the sound of my voice. But this one has these 5 tabs, so you're going to want to make sure you read or listen to all these pages. Then you'll read through the syllabus, which we just looked at briefly together. And then you'll want to complete that mandatory orientation quiz, which we'll look at after this. Find me on YouTube. That one I think is a little simpler. Find me and subscribe so you can access all my videos really easily. And then find me and subscribe on Twitch. And I made a little plea for this yesterday. I'll do it one more time since I'm approaching everything as if I hadn't done it before. If you can subscribe on Twitch, please, please, please do. There are a lot of benefits to you, and it saves me an incredible amount of time. And I feel bad asking you to help me, but it does save me a lot of time. I have 7 classes, 3 kids, multiple sports. I have a lot of things going on. And when you are subscribed, I can just download a list of those of you who are here versus having to try and match your name to your Twitch name. And that takes me quite a bit longer to do. You also get notifications of when I'm online. It's easier for me to track your attendance. You get a little football cake next to your name, which is fun. And then you only have that one ad at the beginning versus sometimes when you're not subscribed, there are ads that kind of interject. So if you have the ability to go through those steps, I have a whole page about it with a video. I would really appreciate it. Thank you so much for those of you who have taken the time to do that. And if you haven't, it's not too late at all. As I mentioned earlier, the way this course is organized is that every Monday morning, the materials will open up and then they'll close on Sunday night. You're generally responsible for reading 1 chapter a week. There's also a lecture that goes with that chapter and a lecture video. You'll have 1 discussion to do each week where you respond to my questions and then also to a classmate. You'll have a homework assignment every couple of weeks, kind of reinforcing whatever important concept that we're covering at that time. 4 online exams, 3 self-assessments, and an experiment proposal project. So those are the things that, again, make up your grade and are the big assignments you'll do in here. And everything, as I mentioned, is compiled under its weekly folder. I give you a little bit of information about myself. Again, my name is Elisa Setmire. I know I have a couple of you also in person, which is kind of fun. But you can call me Elisa or even Setmire or Professor Setmire. I'm a huge football fan. I've been a Brady fan for years and years and years, though now I'm not sure since he retired. I can watch him as a sportscaster, I suppose, starting in a couple of weeks. I'm a big fan of escape rooms. I have 3 little girls who all started school today. I love Halloween and the holidays, right? So just a little bit about me. When I teach these classes at home, I do have 5 cats that will periodically make their way into our videos. If they come anywhere near me, I will grab them and share them with you. And I gave you some shows and things that I enjoy watching as well, just to give you a little bit about me. I have some computer and internet stuff here. If you're struggling with pop-ups or like internet settings, this could be helpful. And then finally on the last page, there's a little bit more about help. And you can always reach out to me. I'm here and I'm happy to help you. There's some information here about the Canvas support line and the Moore Park Distance Education support line. But email me if you're stuck. Email me if you're struggling. If something comes up and you need help, or you need an extension because life is just kind of interfering, make sure that you reach out to me. Again, I am here and I'm happy to help you. Once you've read through all of that, once you've subscribed on Twitch and YouTube and you've done all of those things, you can then go complete that little mandatory orientation quiz. All of your quizzes and exams can be found here on Canvas. And this one is 10 questions. You have 15 minutes to complete it. And with every single quiz you take here or exam, you get 1 attempt. So just make sure that you're ready to go before you begin. I already kind of showed you how to do this yesterday, so it's not going to let me do it again today. But make sure that you save all of your answers, that you do answer everything correctly. There is a short answer question at the end, kind of asking you about your Twitch and YouTube names so I can put those things together. But this is your first 10 points of the semester, so do make sure that you complete this before Sunday night. If you haven't completed it, you'll get a drop warning from me Monday morning. I'm trying to make sure everybody who's here has started and is ready to go. There's also a little introductions discussion to help me get to know you, so make sure that you do that as well. And once you've checked all of those boxes off, you can start week number 1. And so week number 1 is open for you ever since Monday. And what you'll see each week is there's 1 chapter or 1 reading. So this week it's chapter 1. So you're going to want to read the chapter in the book, read through the lecture, and watch the lecture video. So 3 things for every single chapter. The lectures are going to be following a very similar format every week. So objectives and summary, beyond the book, and then key terms and review. And there's always going to be the audio up here if you'd like to listen to it, and hopefully images and things on the side. So you'll get the objectives and summary, and this one for chapter 1 is a lot about like how do we look at good scientific theories and how do we consume information and get our information. There's going to be a beyond the book page. This one is a little bit about being a critical or smart consumer of information, how to spot fake news. There's a couple of videos. Anytime I give you a video or a link, make sure that you click on it. It's there to try and help you understand the information. And then finally, the last page will always be key terms and review. Here are the terms from this chapter that you need to know for the exam. So all of those things together are going to help you to understand and cover the information. There's also a lecture video of me lecturing as if I were teaching this to you in person to some PowerPoint slides. And these are typically relatively brief, but you're going to want to pay attention. You could consider taking notes. Between those 3 things, reading the chapter, reading the lecture, and watching the lecture video, hopefully the information is very clear and accessible for you. Once you've done those 3 things each week, you can then do the discussion. So this week we have our kind of standard format of chapter, discussion, and then there's some extra credit Twitch kind of stuff from today. So discussion number 1, when you click on this, you'll notice that they follow a similar format each week, again with the consistency. So here at the top are all of my instructions, and then you'll find a little video underneath it of me kind of going through and talking about the prompt in a little more detail, giving you some tips and pointers. With all of these, you want to make sure that you're really detailed in your responses. So think about them as like mini papers. This is a chance for you to show off your knowledge and understanding of the materials for the week. So better to give me too much than not enough, right? Definitely put some effort and time into these. You're also going to read through a minimum of 5 of your classmates' posts and reply to one of them. And that's a very easy 2 points, but you want to make sure that you're doing it and getting those points each week. So altogether, your discussion is worth 15 points, 13 for your responses to my questions, and then 2 for your response to a peer. There's a rubric here and like a sample one if you would like to see what I'm expecting, but definitely watch the videos. I think they're really helpful. I took the time to make them for you and help you out. And then here is your first discussion prompt. You're going to answer these questions about being a critical or smart consumer of information, and then you're going to find a news story or headline and describe it and be a critical consumer of that headline. And I gave you a couple of websites that might be helpful, but all of this together makes up that first discussion. You can hit reply when you're ready, as several of you have already done. And let's say I really like the way that Rachel, I like her article or I like what she said, I could hit reply right here to comment on her post. So again, you'll be doing a discussion every single week. They'll always follow this format, and better to give me too much than not enough, especially in the beginning, and then you could always try and scale it back if it's more than you need to do. Every week when I do these live streams, I'll give you kind of a couple of reminders and then an extra credit question. These Twitch extra credit opportunities are going to be huge for you. So in total, you can earn something like 30 points of extra credit. That would make up for a missed discussion or two, maybe a poor exam score or some points missed on a homework assignment. The way that you get the extra credit is kind of 2 or 3-fold. So you can join me live. And those of you who are with me today or even were with me yesterday, that would count for joining me live. And you put your name in the chat, or if you're subscribed, you don't have to worry about that because I can see who's here. And then what you'll do from there is I'm going to give you an extra credit question that you'll answer right here on Canvas. And so you have to get the question correct and you have to join me. So those are kind of the 2 things you need to do. If you're watching this later as a recording, and I completely understand that our live stream time is like in the middle of the day, you can still answer the questions for extra credit as long as you are subscribed on Twitch. And as I mentioned earlier, there's a way to do this for free. You can find those instructions up here, right here in this page. But if you're subscribed on Twitch, you can still answer the questions later and get that extra credit. And I'll always record these. I'll post a recording of it right here. The recording yesterday was so poor that I wanted to redo it since it's our first week. I won't normally do that, but I wanted to make sure that everyone is clear about the class and what I'm expecting and so on. I didn't want to start it off on a bad note. So I'll always post the recording here a little bit later in the day. And then there's a week 1 checklist right here if you want to make sure that you've done everything. So let me give you the couple of reminders that I have for week number 1, and then I'll give you that extra credit question and show you how to answer it. So I'm going to put this in the chat. I already typed it up earlier, but don't forget to, again, find me on Twitch and YouTube so that you can get those points for watching this later if you're watching it as a recording, or as well, like I mentioned, some of those other benefits I mentioned earlier. The other reminder that I have for you will be about our live stream for next week. Our week number 2 Twitch live stream will be on Wednesday, August 21st at 12:30 p.m. So I'm going to put that in the chat as well. It'll be on Wednesday next week. We'll kind of assume that normal day and time, and I'm going to try and stick to that unless something comes up or the technology doesn't work, as was the case this week. And then finally, let me give you the extra credit question, and I did type this out earlier just to save myself. I've learned that I'm not the best at typing and talking at the same time. So our week number 1 Twitch extra credit question, I'm going to put here in the chat. And the question is, name and describe 2 to 3 characteristics of good scientific theories. So name and describe 2 to 3 characteristics of good scientific theories. And again, that is in the chat over here on the right. And if you would like to answer that question because you're joining me now or you're watching this later and you're subscribed, you go right here and you click on optional Twitch extra credit number 1. And it will bring up this area where you can click start your attempt or begin attempt. And it brings up a text box where you can type your response. And then when you're done, you'll hit submit assignment to get a confetti burst. And are those little pinwheels in there? There's always like random stuff in the confetti, which I love to look forward to. It's my little nerd moment, I suppose, but that's okay. So you can do this anytime before Sunday night at 11:59 p.m. Again, it's worth 2 points. Might not seem like a lot on its own, but if you do all of them, I believe it's 32 points or something like that in total. So please take advantage of that. Between now and when I see you on Wednesday next week, make sure that you get your copy of the textbook. You get going on week number 1, explore all of the stuff that I have on here, get through that mandatory orientation lecture and quiz. Get going on week number 1. All of that stuff is due by Sunday night at 11:59 p.m. And then what you'll typically find is that on Monday, I will go through and grade all of that. You'll see your grades pop up on Canvas by that evening. And then I'll typically send out an email with some kind of general feedback and then some reminders for the week. So I think on my end, this went much better than yesterday. I hope that those of you who are here with me or those of who tried yesterday would agree. What I will do when we're done here is I will start that upload download process, and later today you will see a video posted here and posted on YouTube for this time. I hope this was helpful. I plan to do it every week, and hopefully we'll run into better internet circumstances as we go forward. What I'll do is I'll hang out for a few minutes. If you do have any questions for me, you can go ahead and put them in the chat. There aren't too many of you in here with me. I know this was like a random day and time, so hopefully we'll have more people on our usual day and time next week. But if you have any questions, feel free to put them in the chat. Thank you so much for those of you who joined me either today or yesterday or even watching this as a recording. Thank you for those of you who figured out the Twitch subscription for free so that you don't have to pay for that, and it really helps again with me monitoring your attendance. I hope your classes are going well. I hope you're having a wonderful first week. Yeah, okay, good. Yeah, it's much better today. I'm so glad. Yeah, this was just, I wanted to make a recording to post, and I figured I might as well do it live just in case anyone could join me. Kind of a random thing that hopefully won't happen again. But thank you. I'm glad to hear that. Again, I hope all of you are having a wonderful week. I'm going to minimize my video so I'm not staring at myself, but I'll hang out for a couple of minutes, and then I will hope to see you all next week on Wednesday at 12:30 for week number 2. Okay, great. I will try to get back to you later today. My kids are out of school here shortly, so I'm going to be going to get them, but hopefully this evening I can get back to you, if not this afternoon. So, you're welcome. Thank you so much for joining me. And again, I will hope to see more of you next week. You're welcome. I'll go see if I can look at that now. And Jonathan, I'm looking at your email right now. So if you're in my research methods class, that we don't have an ebook. So the Psyched ebook is for my intro psych class. So I'm wondering if maybe you watched or joined the recording for that one. For our class, we have that one textbook. So if you're on our website, I'm not sure if you're still here with me, but if you're on our website and you scroll up, our textbook looks like this, and it is a physical book. But you can, of course, buy the ebook version of it if you want. The one that you're talking about and those sections that are on there, those are for my intro psych class. So hopefully you didn't purchase that ebook. If you did, you could always contact them to see if you could cancel it or get a refund. You only need that Moreling one for the research methods class, not that ebook. I hope that helps. I'm sorry if you were confused about that. Okay, yeah, give them a call or an email, and that information should be in the order email that you got from them after you bought it, because you do not need that for this class. So just the Moreling Research Methods one, which could be an ebook or a physical copy depending on your preference. Let me bring up, I'm going to show you here, since you're with me, let me show you the email, or I'm sorry, the phone number you can call. It's in my intro psych class, but I'll pull it up here so that you have it. Give me 1 second. Couple of clicks and then we'll be there. Okay. So it is right here on the last page. I'm gonna just make sure that you have their phone number. I'll put it in the chat. So here's their phone number and email for orders. And this is for that intro psych book that you bought on accident here. So here you go. I'm gonna put this in the chat. And that is again so for you specifically so that you can either email them or give them a phone call and see if you can get a refund for that incorrect book. I hope that helps. Okay, perfect. Yeah, so and you're probably not alone on that. Luckily, the 17th, you should still have like a day or two. This chapter is a little bit lighter, and so you might be able to get away with just using the lecture and the lecture video, and that should be enough to help you. You definitely will need the book as we progress through the semester, but you'll probably be okay this week. So obviously, try and read it once you get it. But even if you don't get it until the end of this week, you should still be all right with the lecture and the lecture video. Okay, and it looks like another email. You said you sent me an email. Okay, I will again try and check that. I don't see another email. What is your name? The one who just said you sent about submitting quizzes on Canvas, just so I can make sure I do have your email. N3TERIX. If you could let me know your name, I can make sure I have an email from you. I'm guessing it's Nate. Okay, perfect. So I'm looking at your email now. Give me 1 second. So I'll look a little bit later, Nate, and see if I have a score for you, and then get back to you. Yeah, you should be okay. But I will double check it for you a little bit later and get back to you just so that I don't share your grade and personal information here where other people could hear it. But I will get back to you later this evening. And then about the textbook, yeah, you're welcome. You should be okay for this week. And then next week it gets a little, it kind of builds. So this week you'll be fine without it. And then hopefully by next week you have it and you're all set to move forward. You're welcome. Have a good day. Have a good rest of your week.